After 19 years of marriage, my world shattered when my wife confessed an old affair, leaving me to navigate a maze of pain, lies, and the fight for trust. Subscribe to our channel for the raw, unfiltered truth behind infidelity and the journey to healing. My wife finally confessed to cheating with her coworker 11 years ago, when we are still living partners with a 2-year-old son, and gave me a free pass to cheat back at any time. It happened 11 years ago, when I am still 27 and she is about 30. We've been together that time for 8 years as living partners, and we have a son who was 2 years old at the time. Now I am a 38 male and my now wife is already 41 female. We've been together 19 years, married for 11 years. We have 2 more kids now, 8 male and the youngest is 6 female. English is not my first language, wishes, so please bear with me first. 8 years living together. We have our ups and downs, but still stick and fight for each other. We really have no major problems in our relationship and we're very close. Before I met her, I came from a 4-year relationship and my ex cheated on me. That's why it's hard for me to trust fully again. Interestingly enough, she also has a boyfriend for 1 month. When we met, they didn't really have the chance to be together since she left to work in my area. Right after she accepted him, she said there was really no connection between them. I find it interesting because she accepted me while still not ending it with him. Eventually she went back to that place and ended it with him because of me. It's really hard for me to trust her, but eventually I give it all to her, especially when we were already living together and have a child. I was really confident that there was nothing to worry about her loyalty, since she is busy taking care of our child and she is a very caring partner and mother. The problem started when she decided to work again. I stopped working that time to finish my last year in college. We decided to have my mother take care of our kid while she works and I study. My mother is living in another area, which is a little far, so when we took our son to her, it took us a day to travel in her place. We stayed for a month with my mother and went back together. Everything was good between us. She works while I study and after 6 months we decided to get her son back. This time I will get my son alone, since my partner is already working. I stayed there for 3 weeks before coming back now with my son with me. My partner was left alone in our apartment the whole time. During those times we were already having some issues with her work because her workmates like to go out and have a drink after work. Sometimes this leads to fights between me and her because she became entitled and she is already very stubborn. I specifically asked her to avoid his kinds of activities, but she always says that she is with friends and also her cousins are with them, so she is safe. Some of her cousins are also her workmates. During the time I am away, we are constantly calling and texting each other daily, so there is nothing unusual really to think about. When made my son get back, I noticed she was more sweet and a little more active and bad than usual, but I thought she just missed me for the 3 weeks I am away, so I'm happy to give it to her. After a month, I heard her phone text message and out of curiosity I opened the message. I saw that it was from someone from her work and she texted back saying, "Stop texting me here. My living partner might treat it." This was the time my knees shake. My chest felt like there was a hole. It is hard to breathe. She hurriedly came and tried to get the phone, but I took it out of her reach. I asked her who the F is this guy. She is texting about me. She said he has nothing and she needs to go to her sister's house to have her hair done for the company Christmas party event scheduled evening. I told her she can't take her phone. When she left, I replied back to the number and received a reply as well. Surprisingly, he is the partner of the guy my partner is texting. Apparently, the guy left and left his phone open as well. She told me that her partner might be having an affair at work. She was suspecting him for a while now, and the text messages I sent to him that morning proved some of her suspicion. I told her if it's okay for me to meet her in person, for me to read the text messages from my wife myself, and she agreed. I took my son to my partner's sister's house. She is also there having her hair done with her sister. I told her I'm meeting someone and she has some explaining to do when I get back. Finally, I meet her, affair partner's girlfriend, and she let me read all the text messages between my partner and her affair partner. His girlfriend also told me that there was a particular night that he did not come home and somebody saw him with my partner, drinking with friends and having a great time together dancing. She said they look like more than friends that night and they are always together, and they disappeared later. This was the hardest blow on me. I was not home during that time. It was within the 3 weeks I was away with my son and my mother's place. I was really shocked. I can't think straight. The affair partner's girlfriend said she confronted my partner at work, but she said nothing happened to them that night and that they were just friends. She just asked him a ride home because she can't find a cab that time. She didn't believe it, of course, and so am I. After that, I thanked her and apologized about what happened. I went home and confronted my partner that evening after she came back from their company Christmas party. It was a very emotional time. I asked her to tell me the truth, but she just told me nothing happened that night. I was so hurt and dismayed to her that she got involved into this kind of mess. I was really furious and already thinking of leaving that time, but for some reason we didn't separate, and my son is the main reason for it. She keeps on telling me nothing happened to them that night and that just dropped her off at our gate and she made him leave right away. I know there was more to it, but I decided to accept it and moved on. I forced my mind to forget about it and get it completely out of my mind. I got sick that time, so I needed her at my side to take care of me. She still stayed at her work for another year and finally resigned. She told me she never talked to him again at work after that event and never go near him again, even before a confrontation, and just completely ignored him at work. I somehow believe her, since I have access to all her devices during that time and she no longer goes out drinking with her workmates after work. Then, near of a life, after 2 years, I heard that the guy died due to a motorcycle accident and my partner didn't show me anything that is telling me she is affected by the news or something. So finally, we are already moved on and she got pregnant again with our second son. We got married that year and everything is normal again, sometimes when we fight. I brought the issue back with her, now dead affair partner, to get the upper hand, but she always is defensive and tells me to let the man rest in peace. After a year, she got pregnant again with our youngest. Everything is running normal. Until almost a month ago we had a fight and I brought up the topic again to her. She got really mad and told me when will I stop asking her about it. I just felt there is something that day. That's why I pushed it a little further. I told her that somebody saw them arrive at our apartment that night and he went inside with her and his motorcycle parked there till morning. I assumed this. Nobody really told me about it. I just told her a lie to relate it to what she did to me that night when he dropped him off at our gate and left right away. I did not share this information with her before. I noticed she was taken aback by this and asked me right away who was the person that told me that and why. Only now she is finding out about it. I lied again and told her he knows me, but she did not know him. He was a new friend in the neighborhood. Then she got defensive again and told me yes, she let him inside, but only to drink because he asked for a glass of water. Noticing the changes in her story, I know I got her now. Then I asked her how long she stayed. She said just a couple of minutes. Then I told her she is lying. My friend told me he stayed until morning. I reiterated that the motorcycle was parked until morning. Now she is hyperventilating. I asked her again, did they do it that night? She said no. She confessed they kissed and some fondling while embracing because she is drunk, but that's it. I asked again if they did it and she told me he tried to ask for it, but she refused because she thinks about me. She was about to cry telling me nothing really happened, but I am not satisfied with that. We were going in circles, but she just keeps on denying it. Then I got an idea. I told her, okay, I believe her. Now, whatever, she is telling me that nothing happened. I will accept it, but I told her here I am at my weakest in front of you can look me straight in the eyes and swear that what you are saying is true, and I accept it and believe you. But if you are still lying, I am the most miserable man in the world. God knows my pain and God knows how you lied to me. If you still have a small amount of respect and love for your husband, you will be hurt to just lie again in front of his face in his most vulnerable state. I teared a little and she looked at me straight in the eyes. I added that there was still anything to confess. Might as well do it now. Told her. I will forgive her if she says sorry for what she has done. I created a safe deal for her that I am ready to forgive her, as she just lays it all out and confesses if she did it that night. Then she cried and finally confessed that they did it. She allowed him to do it to her in our sofa. I asked if how long they did it. She told me only about 3 to 5 minutes. He did not finish because she realized what is happening and came back to her senses. She kicked him to get off and she cried and told him bad things. He asked what happened and she just kept on blaming him. She realized that what she did was very wrong and told him I am going to get very upset and hurt if I found out. He asked her to at least let him finish, because he might have paid if he didn't finish, but she already refused and asked him to leave. She told him he left right away and she cried and had the longest shower in her life. She felt really dirty and she is about to lose her mind. She said he took advantage of her, even if she refused at first, by kissing her and fondling her. He told her I am far away and no one will know if no one will tell and he will not make her pregnant. He became more aggressive towards her and she felt fear what he will do if she is still refused. And she didn't know what made her give in, but she just felt to let him do it, to get it over with. And she shut him out of her mind and thought about me. She locked her mind on me while he started using her. She said she didn't feel anything when he is doing her, because he was really small and on circus mates, and also she felt numb due to alcohol. That woke me a little. She just told me she shuts him off and thinks about me all the time, but when she realized he is not finishing due to alcohol, I guess she kicked him off. And then that's it. I was shocked hearing all these details coming from her. My world turned upside down, but I still talked to her and told her I will keep my promise to forgive her. Then we decided to stop her conversation and proceed to bed. I told her not to worry, but my head is spinning that time. She told me she fears that her confession changed the way I looked at her and I will leave her. I answered, don't worry about anything right now. We will face this step by step, but my mind is about to explode that time. She then proceeds to arouse me, and we did it that night, but she is the only one who did all the work. I didn't sleep well that night after. I decided to get more details about what happened that night, but she stuck to her original story that he didn't finish and said sorry for what she didn't. She is willing to do anything for me to forgive her and not leave her. She said she has also been suffering all those years. She lied to me about it. She developed anxiety because of it and got depressed because it is eating her inside. She just told me the reason. She lied for 11 years because she didn't want to hurt me and she didn't want our family to be destroyed, because our kids will suffer the most. She knows how she did, suspecting and destroyed my trust when she let him in our place and did what they did, and she regretted every moment of it. And it was just a mistake. She didn't plan it and he just took advantage of her weakness. That night she told me she didn't love him and it was just a pure mistake. That night she even told me she wants to tell her sister about it and wants to know if she can report him, because she felt scared and forced about deciding not to proceed because of fear. If I found out, I think about all she said, but I no longer believe all of them. I asked her. It's impossible that she doesn't have any feelings for him. She told me they were always together at work due to their task and he showed her interest and always gave her food. In asking if she had eaten already, she confessed that maybe she has a little feelings for him, but not that she already loved him. She just likes him a little. She thinks because of the attention, and that's it. I asked her if she felt attracted to him, and she said no. She just liked the company he provides and the attention. She did not love him at all. After almost a month since D-Day, we were doing okay for the kids and we decided to keep things the same. But I told her I'm still deciding what will happen and I still don't forgive her. Yes, I thought when I said that to her, I will forgive her if she confesses. But I eat my words. I told her I'm only human and I thought it'd be that easy, but I realized I can't forgive her yet. We had a sharing therapy every night before sleeping, where we give each other time to speak and share our thoughts without the other interrupting or commenting. The other job is just to listen the whole time and sleep. After then, it's the other's turn to share, reflect about the thoughts, about what the partner shared the previous night. The absolute rule is to be completely honest about it and share what you feel. This helps a lot, because I asked her to give me a timeline about them and I just listened. She shared all the things she can remember, the lunch dates, the conversations, the things he shared to her, and all she even shared that he asked her to leave me and be with him. I also shared what I think about the things she shared and how I feel about it. This helped me somehow, because there are some details that were uncovered as well throughout our sharing that was not shared. During D-Day, I'm experiencing deep, hurt episodes where I am feeling very angry and my mind is stuck on the details she shared that night. But I'm also relieved that it brought light to the things happening that night. I no longer imagine things that I already know the details. I made sure she knows all about it. When I experience deeper episodes, and she is very supportive, I'm now starting to accept her. Little by little, she agreed to all my conditions and followed all the things I want to do to make things better between us. I thought her pride and ego will be in the way, but she endured it. She said the only thing she will not be able to take is when I find another woman and have feelings with her. Right now there are still ups and downs, but I no longer mind staying longer with her. I learned to look at her again, but the pain still comes when I think about what he did to her that night. Is this normal? Even if the affair partner already is dead long time ago, I still feel jealous and hurt because of him. It still hurts when I watch videos and see the position that is similar to what my wife and her affair partner did that night. Is there still a chance for me to fully forgive her eventually for all the things she did? Does she still deserve a second chance? Thank you. I appreciate your comments and thoughts. Let's see what people say. CRA Nick starts us with her lover being dead and her having 11 years to get rid of all possible evidence. You only have the choice to either believe her with what she says or not to. Thing I wonder about is what happened before she took him home. I bet that it wasn't that they had a wild night and at the end that she decided to bring him home. There was stuff already happening before, emotionally and properly physically as well. The girlfriend of the dude told you that somebody saw the two together and it looked like they are more than friends. Since I doubt that a third person was with him at your house, that must have happened somewhere else before that night. Last but not least, do you really think that a dude who is in a relationship that has no emotional connection to your now wife and only had a one-time unsuccessful sex with her, where he even had to beg for it, that he would ask your wife to leave you for him? That is a question that a lover asks when the affair is intense and passionate and not when there never was a real affair or only an attempt to have bad sex. Has she told you whether they used a condom back then? Or did she not even care about your health and whether she would give you an STD? And now the thing that makes the whole. This was only a one-time thing. Unbelievable for me. 1 month after you came back and all that happened, there are 4 weeks or 28 days she was still in contact with him, and she wasn't in any kind of contact with him. Think about the message you saw. Stop texting me here. My partner might treat it. 1 month after she had the worst sexual experience of her life, where she even entertained the idea to report the guy to the police. They still in contact. He writes her something. And what did she reply? If her story was true, then I would have expected a reply like "Stop contacting me. I don't want to hear from you ever again. Leave me alone," or that she simply blocked him. But she replied to him. She wanted him to text her, wanted to stay in contact with the person that she thought about to report to the police, just not on the mind that you might discover. You will never know the full truth. Only she knows that, but the story that she tells you isn't making any kind of sense. Update 1, we are still working to reconcile, and I can say that time does really have a huge factor for me in dealing with all of this. I decided to stay and give it another chance, but with some changes in terms of our setup. We agreed that I have 1 pass to have another relationship and I can use this pass anytime I want, specifically if I see that she is not serious about this reconciliation. The only condition is that she needs to know about it. She is now open with all her devices and will let me know if someone is trying to hit on her at work or anywhere in any way, so that we can fix it early. She will need to avoid any issues or involvement related infidelity or even having me once again suspecting her of something at all costs, because she only has a second chance and no option for a third. She's always doing her best to help in our reconciliation, and I can say that she is very remorseful and she regretted the mistake she made in our relationship. We continue to live as normal as possible with our kids, but still have deep hurt episodes every time I remember once in a while. It's not that difficult to handle anymore compared to the days just after D-Day, but I still let her know how I feel and how she destroyed my trust. I made her do some things for me to help me and us cope with all of this, and she has no complaints. Except for one thing, we are the only ones who know about our problem and nobody else from her side of the family and mine knows this. I believe that the root cause of her cheating on me is her being selfish, and I want to test her by making her do the thing that I believe she fears the most as a selfish person. Based on how I've known her, she values her reputation a lot with our friends and family. She doesn't want her reputation to be tainted or destroyed. To test her, I ask her to confess her infidelity, both our parents only, and we will ask them to keep all of this just between us and nobody else from our families will know, and we will ask their advice regarding our reconciliation. I decided to just let her confess to our parents only, and not to other members of our families and friends, because, based on what I observed when I told her about this test, is that her reaction was very genuine. The horror in her eyes realizing that both our parents will know about her mistake was very real. This is the most difficult thing I asked of her, according to her, and she is trying to ask me to give her another test. She wants us to just keep this a secret and deal with it on our own, but I insist that I need to see and she can really prove to me that this is still all worth it. By doing this, I told her that, since I considered her selfishness as the main enemy, I want us to beat it by making her do the ultimate sacrifice for me, her reputation to our parents. It should be our whole family and friends. But I decided to just make her confess to both our parents, to save her dignity to others, since we are reconciling and she is the mother of my children. So I just need her to prove to me one thing if she can do this ultimate sacrifice. According to her, this is the ultimate sacrifice. She agreed eventually and just asked me to give her a little time to confess to her parents first. Then, once done, she will also do the same with mine. I told her that once she did this, I will consider this a victory and will help a lot in our reconciliation. I told her, once she did this, I will lose my past to have another relationship and will just focus on her again. I will be her partner again in everything and we will move on from this mess. She made only one thing. I made it clear to her that I can forgive her, but I will never forgive what she did, because cheating in any form is unforgivable and unacceptable in any relationship. I just want to know, for those of you who decided to reconcile and did it successfully, what is the best test you think is necessary for you to prove that your marriage is still worth another chance? I considered a lot of things like our kids, our life in 19 years we made together, though more than half of it. She lied to me and also my feelings towards her. I believe that she is remorseful and regretted her mistake 11 years ago and she devoted her life to me and our family after that. All my kids are mine according to DNA results, and we are negative to STDs. Though she lied for 11 years, I believe that she only did it to keep our family whole. It sucks on my part being cheated and being lied to, but, as I mentioned in the first part of this post, time really does have a big factor on how you deal with things. And life is a lot bigger than focusing only on the negative side of things. I believe that she will always encounter failures, and starting new is not always the best option for all. My heart goes out for all those betrayed spouses like me, especially male spouses. I know your pain and I want you to know it's okay to cry. I hope we all find the peace we are looking for and we will be able to give our love and trust again, all right. Scary Inspector 8315 says why I think this is a happy ending for your wife. Indeed, she got her cake and got to eat it by taking responsibility. After all her fun, congrats for her. The amount of codependency, delusion and lack of self-esteem on your side is sad to see. Character. Hitbone90 adds, you continue to identify our cheating as a mistake, as if it were some mental lapse in judgment. Your wife purposely betrayed you and made a conscious effort to hide her sexual escapades from you. Maybe it's your way of softening the impact of it all, but please accept that there was a deliberate attempt to cheat on you and disrespect the man that she claimed to love. Good luck on your free pass reconciliation update too. More than 3 months after today. She already confessed to both her parents. They were both very disappointed in her, but it's obvious that they both want us to work it out and not separate because of the kids. I am satisfied because she did it, even if it's very difficult for her. I am confident on my parents' side, since I am the one who opened it to them, giving them the summary of the affair, and my wife talked to them and apologized. They accepted her apology and advised her not to do it again, and she will need to earn my trust again and not letting the children know about the affair. But on her parents' side, this is where I have doubts that she really shared all the necessary details of the affair to them. I was not beside her when she confessed to her parents, but I was in another room and they all joined me afterwards, and my wife told me that she already confessed to them. I was waiting for the reaction about it, but they just chose not to talk about it. I mean, I completely understand that they will feel uncomfortable to speak about it because it's about their daughter, but it would have been way better if they did. Now I have doubts about if she really told her parents all the necessary details, including the part that she slept with the affair partner. She told me she did tell them about it and they were shocked and asked her why she had an affair when everything is going good between us at that time. She said that she answered she didn't know why she did it. She told them they advised her the same thing. My parents advised her and they also said that we resolve this problem for the kids. I thought things would get better after this, but I am still unsatisfied, though this added a huge plus on her towards our reconciliation. But I still feel hurt and betrayed if I look at her, especially if there are triggers. I still have my past and will use it without her knowing, if needed. I also applied the true Norse test, and out of 6 conditions she already passed 3 patients. Owning her bad decisions by confessing to her parents, and financial support and responsibility she's still working on. I need to decide if I am convinced regarding her full honesty, her initiating and actively doing her part towards reconciliation, and her overall attitude towards me and the children. If she convinced me on the remaining conditions while still maintaining the first 3 conditions that she already passed, then that's the time I can say that she is truly remorseful. I have little additional confessions from her, like some details she held back during her initial disclosures, like small details about that night. When they did it, the one significant change was when she confessed that the affair partner might have unloaded a little inside her, but unable to unload it all inside because she noticed and anticipated it and suddenly kicked him off as quickly as she could. She was very mad because he really did want to finish inside her, despite their agreement for him not to, though she recalled she is on birth control pills at the time. We are on birth control during that time. Obviously she is familiar and knows if a man is about to unload inside of her, probably using her years of experience with me as reference. She said he wanted to make her pregnant, but she pushed him, cursed him and away and went to the shower. This may sound crazy, and I did not believe her, of course, but she explained that she has nothing more to hide. She is bringing it all out in the open. I know this sucks on my part finding out about it, and here I am listening to all of this, but that's all what really happened, according to her, and she is fully aware that him finishing all inside, or just a little bit, doesn't matter to me anymore. She understands that this hurts me just the same, and she is really sorry and regrets the decision she made that night with them. She really just wanted to be full and honest with me, and she will try to remember other things that she might have forgotten and will disclose them to me. She really wants to pass the full disclosure and full honesty condition, true Morse test. Right now I am still not okay. So many triggers and it sucks. I have no direction right now. I don't know if our reconciliation efforts will work. I look at our kids and think, how will they handle it if we separate and just co-parent them? It breaks me thinking, what if my children, especially my daughter, find out? It will surely break their hearts and they will cry because we are already a broken family. Bob Shan says she keeps changing her story from nothing happened to only kissing in Fawnland. Yes, had sex. but she kicked him off and he absolutely didn't finish to. He pressured her to now. Yes, had sex. And he finished a bit inside of her every step of the way. You had to pressure her or trick her into revealing more, but you keep getting lies now. She says she's not lying, as there's no need for real. You believe that also? Yes, you can't trust. She gave the full truth with her parents because she's not even fully truthful with you. Also, what the hell were her cousins who worked in the same place doing? Can you really believe? They didn't notice her behavior, so behavior cut them off. She also stayed another year on the same job instead of quitting ASAP to save her marriage. You really believe they didn't continue, since at that time she was still denying. She willingly exposed you and your children to STDs and then continued to have more children with you, knowing how much she hurt, disrespected and betrayed you. Please don't stay for the kids. Get yourself healthy and happy so you can be a good father, but you don't have to be with her to be a good parent. Also, get a full range of STD tests and DNA tests, all your children, then bill her for the tests. You absolutely cannot trust that this is the only time she cheated or she hasn't continued. Protect yourself. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and bookmark. We will provide you with more high-quality audio videos on the topic of infidelity.